know,
If
I
you
know.
look back at the street, they could be.
Where do they
could
have
be
that?
pirates.
Complaining about
It's
the
upstairs.
Well, you're right.
On the
methane
far east
gas or
end,
the
there's a
odor.
conference.
It
When
could
they played the
be
Mets,
because there's a little bit more of that, because it's actually
Mets a
sitting
couple
in there and
more
then it's
times.
building up and going
That's
backwards.
what I say.
And if they just have,
It's the older
and if their
guys,
traps
sometimes
aren't
they too
completely
easily
full
fall
of
And
into
I
water,
see them
then,
now,
that does
so that
evaporate
doesn't
out.
Long
work
season.
either.
That's, it'll
Well,
go
that's
right
true.
past it.
Yeah, I guess that's
Keeps
true.
those one games away.
Yeah, and I didn't know anything
Like I
about them,
said,
the odor.
So many
Club,
ways.
I'll be at lunch
I
wherever
know
you're
that
at.
before the backup,
Yeah.
they were coming to our meeting in probably
Yeah, you know,
8 months ago.
if you end up
Said, you know.
30
here's
games
a
out of the
terrible
playoffs, okay, fine.
gas smell out here.
Those games
And it
don't
was,
matter, but when you end up,
well, you know, like you was going down
five,
Rabbit Trail
those
where
are-
the creek comes
remember that year
across.
they had
Right, as you
the
make the turn to go to
they had
the
like
nursing home.
yeah.
Okay, those
10 to
three
15
units
blown
on that
saves.
end.
Yo.
left-hand
Thank you.
side,
We have
Good
those are
morning.
like they're supposed to have.
Well, they'd be the
They
first
were-
ones
they
to get
easily
it.
run
Yeah,
away with
they
the
were
division.
complaining
Exactly.
vigorously,
That's what
and then the city did come out.
Exactly.
I don't know what they did, you know, whatever.
Well, I
It's
think
gonna
at that
get me
point
closer to
probably,
7:30.
I don't
Flushed it or
remember.
what.
They probably came in with our garden went down, and then I know Terry said.
All right,
they went there.
we could call this meeting of the City of Washington Board of Public Works to order Tuesday, May 8th, 7:30 a.m. Roll call, please.
John Thietmeyer,
Here.
Mike Raditek,
Here.
Brad Mitchell,
Here.
Steve Richardson,
Here.
Steve Struberg,
Here.
Jeff Moheski, Josh Brinker, Steve Sullentrop, Greg Scornia, Susan Waterman.
If we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This morning, Brad.
Hi, Steve, how are you?
Thank you all and welcome. If we've had a chance to take a look at the minutes, questions, comments, motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes approved. Thank you. Moving right in, no priority items, nothing on wastewater, but I'm sure we can get a comment.
Yes, on wastewater, actually, I know I say it a lot, but it's always a good thing. Wastewater's going good. We're still working on the air scrubber proposals to install a permanent air scrubber down there for the influent wet well and the grit separating wet well that's in the back of the building, but that's going to take some time because it's going to be a nice chunk of money. It is budgeted for this year, so that's really about it on the wastewater. We're hauling sludge across the river, spreading it over at the airport ground that we have over there for the farmers. We're hauling some out to the landfill to try and use it to boost the growth of the grass that has to be grown out there, assist in growing that. So we're just moving along with that. Our sludge production should slow down as the weather's starting to warm up. As soon as it warms up, it slows down. Bacteria does a better job, and we'll just keep on moving.
And the long-range plan is to stop taking it across the river?
The goal is to try and figure out, and we've always been working on it. It's not an easy process. Is to still take it out to the landfill now that we opened up the other cell and use it as daily cover, but it needs to be mixed 50-50 with dirt. So that becomes a challenge when you haul a load of sludge out there and then you try to mix it with dirt. The sludge can get slimy if it gets moist because there's a polymer that's used to press the sludge out. It becomes very slick and slimy. So it's a challenge, but we're working on that. We're still working on it. So it seems to always be, it's always going to be, I guess, a work in progress. We're always going to be finding a way to dispose of the sludge in what's in the most economical way for the city. So.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Anybody else have anything on wastewater? Okay, water. We have a memo for a couple of pickup trucks.
Yes, and actually these are actually broke out for water and wastewater, but I lumped them together because I went out for bids together for both of them, try and get a better deal. We have in the budget a new truck for the water department and a new truck for the wastewater department. So I went out to bids. We actually sent requests out to Don Brown and not Down Brown. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Modern Auto, Weber, and Lou Fuse. We only received 2 bids back. The other 2 did not want to bid on the vehicles. We got a bid from Don Brown for $51,600 or $892, and forgive me if I say this, I forgot to bring my glasses. And then Modern Auto was $56,320. That's for both trucks. So if you break that out, we're looking at just a little under $26,000 for each truck.
What did you, had you budgeted? How much?
31,000.
31?
Don Brown is actually the state bid dealership, so I think that's kind of why we got a little bit better bid. They didn't propose it as a state bid, but they are the state bid company.
Where are they located?
They are actually located in St. Louis, but they also are located out in Lynn. They took over the Carol Ramey dealership out there. So
Do we ever, when we get out-of-town bids and local bids, do we ever, and maybe it's not protocol to do we ever go back and try to negotiate locally to get the better price? Or-
we usually don't, but I have talked to the local, and whenever it's like this, he usually can't come down. We work with the Modern Auto as best we can. We've actually, our last two trucks were bought through Modern Auto. I try to keep it as local as we can. The difference in the cost just kind of makes it too hard to
Sure.
to break it down. I think the last time I bought a truck, there was a difference of like $500. You know, so we got it from Modern because it's local, but this one here is a little bit too spread.
Service.
And all the service goes to Modern Auto. Yes, yes.
So out of a courtesy, do we even go to them and, I mean, I don't know what they match or don't match or would.
Yeah, I can't. Usually when we go out for bids, it's what the bid is. We usually don't, because if I do that, then I'd have to go back to the other one and say, hey, well, now they came back with this. Can you?
Yeah.
You know, you'd almost have to. So we don't make that a practice. I would love to, but we usually don't make that a practice.
Then we seemed like we talked about that at one point of some sort of a range where, in this situation, that if it was X amount of dollars and we could go over the
Yes.
bid to stay local.
Yes. Yes, because we have the opportunity to do the lowest or the best bid, and a lot of times the lowest bid isn't always the best if it comes to purchasing local as to purchasing out of town. I don't think so.
In this case, it's apples to apples, I mean.
Yes, everything's apples to apples, and it's just the spread difference is a little too much to.
Okay.
So I'm asking approval to proceed.
Approval to proceed on this, and then this will go to council. Do we have approval to proceed with this?
So moved?
So moved?
Second.
Second? All in favor to submit this to the council for approval?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion approved. Maintenance, not well drilling, but well maintenance agreements. Now, you mentioned this to us,
Yes, last month.
so here's the bids.
Yes, here's the bids, and we actually received 3. The one came in late after we made the packet up, and that was from Midwest Hydro out of St. Clair, and they were 3,000, a little under 3,100 for theirs. I don't have the exact in front of me, but it was a little under 3,100. So Flynn Drilling came in the lowest on this, and if you guys remember talking about it, what this is going to do is this is going to give us a in-depth inspection of each well to make sure that we're on the right track of maintaining them. It'll tell us where we're at on the electrical side. The pumping side, they'll actually come in every year, and in each one of the well buildings, they'll actually do a ultrasonic flow test to make sure that the flow meter is actually accurate to the flow of water coming out of the pump. So there's a great benefit to this. And also in this, if you guys would like to see it, I didn't put it in here because it was pretty big. It would have been a lot of information. And you're more than well, I'll give you guys their proposal. But they also, with signing this contract, this agreement with them, they also give us a 10% discount on any labor that has to be done. Whether it's a well goes out and they have to pull it, they actually give us a 10% discount on that rather than the normal fee that they charge for taking it in and out. Or if there's any mechanical work that needs to be done in the well, like they may find that there's a weak power cable going down to the pump, which then could cause the pump to burn out prematurely. If they had to pull that and replace the wire, there'd be a 10% discount on all that too. So all labor that's involved in anything they would do, there's a 10% discount.
So refresh my memory, this price is for all wells?
Yes, this is for all wells for the year. It's a yearly price.
And that inspection will be made at least once, but
Yeah, it's once a year, but, and if something comes up, then if we have a problem with a well, with setting this agreement up too, we also get a guaranteed 24-hour response to that problem. We become priority and we get a 24-hour, if a well goes out, we're guaranteed to have somebody here to check out what's going on with it within 24 hours. I've used Flint for a long time for those times when the things have happened and they haven't even charged us for it, and they've sometimes the same day to check it out. That's
they've
how.
been your primary source.
They've been my primary, hey guys, I got a problem, can you come take a look at it? And they respond, like I said, the guy that comes, Gary DeWitt would be the guy that responds to it. He actually lives in Herman. So he comes through this way because their office is in Troy, so he's through here anyway. So
Okay. That's good.
We've had a very good working relationship with Flynn Drilling and all the well drillers really, but Flynn Drilling primarily, they've done 90% of our work in town. They've always been the lowest bid, very reputable company. It's a good thing for the city to have this done.
Good.
The DNR recommends it too, by the way. The first thing they asked me when we had our well study that we had, where they come in every 3 years and they check the system out. They call it I forgot what they call it now.
A program.
Yeah, an inspection program, but they got a name for it, but I can't remember what it is right off the top of my head. But they come in every 3 years, and the first thing they asked me was, did I have a well inspection program? And I said, no. I said, but we're looking into it. And she goes, is it Flynn Drilling? That was the very first thing they said. That's how reputable the company is. I mean, they're highly reputable with the Department of Natural Resources.
So do you need a motion?
Yes, if I could.
So moved.
So moved, second?
Second.
Second, it's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And this is a budgeted item too.
It is a budgeted
Yes.
item, so it's approved. Moving on to the council. Thank you. That looks like we got an old dump truck that needs to be fixed for the price of one of our new trucks. What's going on?
Well, it's actually a new truck would cost about $120,000.
For a dump, yeah.
For a dump truck. 2 weeks ago, we was hauling rock from a water main break, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say all diesel engines have turbos on them, which is a boost to boost the air and the fuel flow and everything. It decided to come apart and blow down into the engine, so it took the whole lower section of the engine out, which they call a long block. So we have to have that replaced. So we evaluated, is the truck in the shape and the condition where we should look at just scrapping it and then trying to buy a new one. None of this is, of course, budgeted because we didn't anticipate this truck going out. It's been a good, strong truck for us. So we evaluated how many more years we think we can get out of it. We feel we can get another 7-8 years out of it easy. Because what we do is we usually transition our water trucks down to the treatment plant because they're not used as much, and that was the plan for this truck anyway. So I know it's a lot of money and it seems excessive, but we need the truck and it has to be done. So
And it's cheaper than a new one.
it's cheaper than a new one.
What year is it?
It is a 2008, 2009, I think. Yeah, I think it's a 9. Yeah.
The cost for this will all from our department, or?
Yes, it'll be all from the water department, yes.
All right, because I was just looking at what's left. We don't have near that much left in maintenance, but,
Yeah, no, I've already talked to finance about it, so they know we're gonna have to move some money
Shave
around.
something.
Yeah, we're gonna have to shave
Okay.
somewhere else to,
Who's going to do the repair work on it?
the only place that can do it is International out of St. Louis. Well, we took it to Modern Auto, we wanted them to work on it first. They pulled it apart, found out what the problem was, and then told us that they can't work on it. It has to go to the International dealer, so that's out of
So it's
St.
an
Louis.
international truck?
Yes, yes. So it is actually down there now. It had to be towed down, so it's down there now. And
If you were to replace the truck, does does the dump, or do they just transition the dump from that truck to a new truck? Is that how they do it, or?
No, it's a brand new, they build it's an all-in-one truck, yeah. They've been, that's been tried before, but by the time you take the old one off and hope it matches the frame of the new one, or you modify the frame on the bed to match the new frame of the truck, it just, it usually doesn't
So
work.
it isn't kind of like the Reeker's tire where the truck beds where you just take a bed
Yeah.
and put it on a.
Now, if you bought Reeker beds and all the time, would probably be, but because there's so many different beds, like our bed on that one's a Heil bed, but there's so many different types of beds that it just doesn't work out like you think it would, so. Good idea, though, but.
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
you see-
nothing about trucks.
Good idea.
no, you see that, but it's not normally.
I was gonna say, now, I won't say that it hasn't been done. I've worked for my father for many years, and we did a lot of things that you wouldn't think you'd do, but it never was as cheap as buying a new
It don't
one.
last long.
Never worked out as good, so.
Any other questions on the dump truck repairs? We won't know, of course, what the total price is until they get it all fixed, I imagine.
No, they gave me a ballpark of in between 20 and 30, but until they get into it and actually pull it apart and see what else is damaged, it's hard to really give a solid price. So I went with the high side. I'd rather go high and then
Right.
say it came in at 22 rather than come back and say, I said 22, but I need 30. You
Yeah.
know, so,
Yeah.
so.
Any other questions on this, guys? Motion to fix the truck.
So moved.
Moved,
Second.
seconded? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Fix the truck, Kevin.
All right, we'll send them a message, say,
We've-
start.
You know, it's not often when you come to us, it's items, they're maintenance items, we plan ahead, we think ahead, it's in the budget, it's in the budget, it's in the budget. I don't remember the last time you said, well, I need money, but it's really not in the budget.
I think I've done that once before. I don't like doing it. That's not,
And this
No.
has to go before council too, though, doesn't it? This repair bill?
yes, because it's gonna be over the, whatever dollar amount it is, so yes.
This goes to,
So this will all go to the end of the month at the admin meeting, where we'll
Right.
discuss it, and I usually try not to bring too much to the council in the middle of a month. I usually try to take it to the end of the month at the admin meeting,
Right.
so.
so you've heard the story on the truck. It's expensive, but it's cheaper than a new one. Okay, moving along. We got more money to spend. We got a Donahue invoice for no, that's gonna total $653.15.
Yes,
They're getting cheaper.
yes, and eventually, here in just a little bit, they should be done.
Yeah.
We will have one more big one from the tank itself, probably, but Donahue should be dropping off, so.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion approved to pay the bill. We're moving right along. Any
Didn't-
members have any other?
Crestview Water Tower. I didn't put it on here. It was an oversight. I'm sorry. It should have been at the very top. They are at the point where they're today, I just drove by there before I came here. They are working on getting our mixer system installed. That's kind of the last thing you do because we're adding that new, which will allow the water to come up to almost to the top of the water tower and then cascade out and actually create a mixing vortex in the water tower, which will keep it stirred up so that because we disinfect, we won't have just water moving up and down in the tank like the old way was. The water would just move up and down. This will be mixed all the time, which should help out in the quality of water out in the system, even though my guys are doing a great job of trying to keep it as stable as we can, and we get complaints, which we haven't gotten a whole lot lately, but when we get complaints, we respond to them within a minimum of a half an hour. We usually got somebody out somewhere flushing a hydrant in the area if we get a complaint. So my guys have done a great job with that. This will just help it. So anyway, they're going to finish that, and then they're going to finish painting the top of the tank. They're wanting to get that done today. There was actually a guy up there when I was there checking to see how wet the top of the tank looked, because there's going to be dew up there too. So hopefully the goal is to get that done today, because they got to try and beat the rain that's possibly coming tomorrow. Once they get that done, we will be able to fill the tank and disinfect it, and then we have to pull a sample off of it, send it off for testing to make sure we can put the tank back online, and then the tank will be back online. So they will be done with the tank part by the 15th. I'm not sure about the landscaping part because they're going to be working with one of the 3 local area landscaping companies to get that done. They're trying to get that done as quick as they can too, but the tank will be back online by the 15th of the month. Sooner than that, I'm hoping, but by the 15th of the month. So
Okay.
it's moved along real good. I think it has moved along real good. I love the color. Actually, I've had people tell me to leave the top of the tank white because it looks like a cloud. I'm like, well, that's not really
know.
the way
I
it
did
goes,
that
but
same thing.
but I've gotten, other than a couple little negative things on Facebook that I've seen, I've got nothing but compliments on on the color of the tank. Usually that's a color that hasn't been used a whole lot, and I like it. I like blue though, but that's just the way it is. But I like it. And everybody I've talked to they really like it. So
Yeah.
it's once it's done, it will be basically a new tank. The fill tube and the inside's installed and done. That's the only other part of the tank that can go bad. So we're basically starting over with a new tank.
That's very good. Very good. Any other old business? That's it? Without any other agenda items, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. See you next month on
Thank you
June
all very much.
Oh, I get to do this.
Close it out.
That means it's over.